Hello, readers. Welcome to 20 Questions with Your Favorite Author, where we ask authors important questions like why would you agree to be on this podcast? I'm Kelly Lynn Colby, editorial director at Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing. Our guest this week is DM Gilmore, writer of cyberpunk and fantasy and friend to monsters. Dan is a Canadian author, and as a game developer and a queer man with ADHD, he creates fun characters and a whole lot of dragons that represent young men like him and those on the autism spectrum. If he's not your favorite writer now, he will be after. I mean, you have to dance to horns, right?
Oh yeah, no, the jingle's great. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. So welcome, Dan. Welcome so much to our modest little podcast here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. We have 20 questions ready to go. And of course, we will interrupt with any audience questions. So remember, audience, please put the questions in chat and we will pull them up as we go along. All right. I get to start though, because my name's on the thing. I have privileged process.
It's right.
It's right. Totally agree. All right. First question. Where do you get your ideas?
Okay, so I prepared an answer for this one, and it's a little heavy.
That's okay.
So
I like it.
It's no secret that a lot of my main characters, my protagonists, are non-human. They're either monsters or go through a monstrous transformation at some point during the story. So the reason for this is because monsters are how I saw myself a lot growing up. When I was a kid, I knew I was queer from a very young age. I knew I was different, both because of autism and ADHD at a very young age. I had difficulty relating to other kids, other people, and I filled that up with monsters. So while other kids were idolizing like Spider-Man and Superman, my heroes were Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman, because I saw myself in the monsters and how other people didn't understand them. And I wanted to create characters that other kids like myself, other people like myself can see themselves in, but could also convey that experience to people who maybe aren't on the spectrum or maybe not queer.
I love that. That is a great answer. Because you have because you have that you're a friend of monsters thing. So now it makes me, it's not just, you're a friend of dragons and griffins. It's like kids who see themselves as monsters. You're their friend. You're there to be their ally. I love that. That's beautiful.
I'm a friend to monsters because I am one.
You're like, I get you, kid. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, Helen sends you hugs.
Oh, thanks, Helen.
Yeah, Greg likes it too. Spikehead said monsters are cool.
They are. Monsters are cool. That's why I write about them so much.
Because they're so cool. I agree. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
So as speaking of the monsters in your stories, the Lazy Scales series. So this looks like middle grade novels. What age group would you put them at?
Middle grade YA. It's a little bit more violent than typical middle grade would go, so I'd put it more into YA territory.
Okay, that's awesome. So in that character, you have Lewis turn into a dragon. So now I understand why. So that's a brilliant metaphor to use.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if you could turn into anything that was not human, what would you choose?
I'm just gonna say dragon. Come on.
See,
it's the obvious answer, but it's also the most accurate. Let's be real.
Dragon works for you. Well, Lewis. Yeah.
I don't really.
You said you have dragons up there, don't you?
I have all over the place, all over the bedroom. There's a grumpy boy over there. There's 3 Spyros over here. There's Jabberwock on my shirt.
Oh, it's like I have them covered. Dragons are my friend.
They are. Dragons are cool. They're big. They're strong. They're smart too, which is
right,
the quality that you don't often see portrayed in monsters. So
that's true. I think it might be why dragons have a special place in our heart.
For sure.
I agree.
There's a whole lot of dragon support in the chat there, so appreciate that.
That's right. You're the right audience if you like dragons. This is the right podcast for you. It's almost a requirement. We should have a questionnaire. Do you like dragons? If they say no, we're like, you're out.
Listen, I endorse this.
Of course, we wouldn't do that, would we? Because we want people to come, and it's fun if you're just here.
Oh, for
now, if you go on a rampage against dragons, now we have an issue.
Yeah, then we'll have some words.
That's right. That's a whole nother story. You have Lewis, so he turns into a dragon by surprise. So it's not like he was born a dragon. Sometimes you get the characters that are half dragon, half human, and they go through like a werewolf, right? They go through transitions. But Lewis, he turns into a dragon by surprise. And
So
then he doesn't know what to tell his parents. How did you work out that dynamic?
So with Lewis, I wanted to tell the stereotypical coming out as gay story without it strictly being coming out as gay.
So clever.
Uh-huh. So mild spoilers, but in book 3 is literally the coming out story. Lewis is coming out to his parents as a dragon, while his bisexual best friend is, urging him to do this because he can't hide forever.
True.
But
True.
I also want to touch on, because Drake and Lazy Scales, the 2 series that I have, they share a similar theme where the main character turns into a dragon person, but they approach it through very different angles. So with Lewis, it's akin to being queer. For Asher, the protagonist of the Center of Magical Affairs series, it's approached from a more of an autistic angle, where his dragon form, his Drake form, it's his mask. It's how he appears outwards, so that other people don't think there's something wrong with him. It's sort of a thing. Sorry. So autistic masking, just a quick crash course.
Okay.
There are certain things people on the autism spectrum do that sometimes they get bullied for, they get harassed for. Masking is just pretending you don't have those. So for Asher, being a dragon, being a Drake, that is his mask. That is how he wants other people to perceive him, so they don't think there's something not necessarily wrong with him, but that he's different.
That's very interesting. I hadn't heard that term before.
There.
I like it.
I'm probably not putting it in the best words because I'm talking fast and doing a crash course, but honestly, if you do want to know more about behaviors of people on the autism spectrum, I do highly recommend looking up masking, because it is exhausting. Masking is an exhausting process.
I'm very curious about that now. I must look it up. Well, I love that you have these diverse characters, and it's based on experience, right? So it's not like you saw something on TV and decided you want to imitate it. So I love that authenticity to it. But when you write someone that isn't like you, do you have other people you have that you trust to read it, to see how authentic it is?
Yes, actually, I did have sensitivity readers, because I did introduce a trans character in the Lazy Scale series, and I did ask for some advice on how to approach her story, because I wanted to get it right, because trans characters in any form of media are so seldom, it's a topic so seldom approached, and trans people exist. To deny that they exist is wrong. To exclude them from fantasy is wrong. So I wanted to include a trans character, and I wanted to approach it as best as I could.
That's awesome. That's always the tough part. We want to have diverse characters, but sometimes we're a little afraid to do them if we don't know how to do it right. So good for you. Let's see. Yeah, Corvus likes your description, so I think you did well.
Oh.
Yes. Corvus, and Helen says thanks for the diversity. Yeah, we do appreciate it. Let's see. Do you have any writer events or conventions you're looking forward to this year?
Unfortunately, because of COVID, everything that was going to happen this year has been canceled.
No.
I was originally supposed to go to Fan Expo last year, and I was hoping to go again this year. But unfortunately, because of circumstances, they were all not happening. I don't have anything else slated right now. I would love to do cons and like book signings and stuff like that. It is unfortunately not in the cards for me at the moment. I'm hoping maybe Fan Expo can happen next year. We'll see.
And where is Fan Expo?
Fan Expo is the local science fiction, fantasy, and comic book convention here in Toronto. Think of it like Comic-Con, but in Toronto.
Excellent.
That's the easiest way to put it.
We're always looking at new conventions to go to. Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Anime North, not Anime North. Fan Expo is definitely the one to go. It's not as big as like Dragon Con, but it's probably one of the largest cons in Canada. I would love to come to Dragon Con in Atlanta, Spikette. I don't get a lot of time off work, and I also have, borders to deal with, COVID to deal with right now.
Yeah, right now it's difficult, but for your day job, I
would love to come to the States.
Yes. Well, for your day job, you're a game designer, right? I mean, Dragon Con's perfect for that.
So I make Facebook games, which is kind of a different audience than Dragon Con. But yes, I
Still.
would very much love to come to Dragon Con.
Yeah, I think that would be
It's definitely
perfect.
on my radar as something I would like to do.
Yeah, I think you need to tell your company they need to step it up. They should send you. You can be in
I
some
usually go
panels.
to
It'll be
a
awesome.
game developers conference every year, but again, because of similar circumstances, they weren't able to go for the past couple of years.
Ah, these
So
circumstances
maybe
have
I'll
not
try to
been
get sent out
fun.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Texas, we're in Texas, right? So a lot of it's opened up. Dragon Con is happening again, but with more limited numbers. So these things are happening. So at least we get to go to a couple. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's been quite difficult.
Yeah, unfortunately, stuff has been preemptively canceled here because I didn't know how things would turn out. Honestly, things
Hmm.
are looking pretty good out there for us right now, so maybe something will happen that's positive.
Well, they said they just opened the border for expats and Canadian citizens. So that can actually cross. We poor Americans can't do it yet, but at least. So it's a little, they're opening a few things at a time.
I didn't include COVID in the books because I didn't want to deal with, uh, you know, pandemic and dragons. That seems like too much of a crossover, Kevin.
I mean, come on though, that could be a fun one. Like, do dragons get it? Do they not get it? I mean, a dragon
I
mask. Think of the style. It'd have to hook to their
a
horns.
whole bunch of stuff. I intentionally avoided certain real life events just because there's some crossover that you kind of don't want to touch on in a fantasy story because it's going to date itself really fast.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
also, I'm not sure people living in the middle of a pandemic want to read a book about that very same pandemic.
Can you
Yeah,
tell that to
but go
all
ahead,
the
read that.
submissions I keep getting? That would be
Um,
awesome.
I, I knew you were going to say something like that because, of course, it's going to happen.
Yeah. 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 I'm like, no, I want to print fun stuff for gosh sakes.
Hmm. I don't
Um,
want COVID in my fantasy stories. I want more dragons.
it's more fun anyways.
Exactly.
No, I have that's, I mean, that is a lot of us are asking ourselves, should we put it in or not? And it really depends on what you write because my paranormal thriller is contemporary. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get away with not putting it in for book 3. First book does not have it. That was before the pandemic. Second book will. I did not put specific years in there, but it doesn't feel authentic to not address it. So I haven't decided. It's not till book 3, so I will deal with that later. Burn that bridge when I get to it is what we like to say.
Yeah, that I'm going to say something a little risky here, but in the spirit of not denying that queer and trans people exist, you can't deny that COVID exists and happened. This is a very real thing that people, suffer through.
Hmm. Yeah.
We've just it's been like 18 months of this, and
Yeah.
oh,
Hmm.
it's exhausting.
Yes. Yes.
It's very
Yes.
tiring.
Yeah, I still go to a place like should fully vaccinated, right? I still go in and think, should I wear a mask? Should I not wear a mask? What's going on? I don't even know
Oh,
what to do anymore.
I'm fully vaccinated. I'm still wearing a mask.
Yep.
I
Right?
don't.
It's just, and I know, I mean, I'm in Texas. I know a great number of people around me have not been. I guarantee it. So my whole household is, but that, you know, yeah, yeah, it's tough. But that's not fun. We're not here to talk about COVID.
Nope,
Ew.
we just sort of fell into that.
We did. It happens. Conversations. But I'm wondering because with the conventions, when you do go to them, do you have anything special you wear or anything that makes you feel like a writer? Do you have like a costume or do you have a cosplay or do you like, I always dress professional because it makes me feel like, I'm professional.
um, I don't have
Hmm.
anything like a uniform or anything.
Hmm.
Honestly, this is probably the closest I have. The Jabberwock shirt.
So dragons are required, which makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I've got Spyro cap up there. I've got a couple other dragon shirts in the drawer, but this is probably the nicer one.
Got it. It's awesome. Well, thanks for wearing your fancy clothes for our podcast.
I had to dress up. I have
I
to be as
love it.
fancy as possible.
We're very posh around here. Yes.
Oh, hold
Yes.
on, let me do that right.
Uh-oh.
Okay, there. The posh queen.
Ta-da! Uh-oh. Did we lose your sound?
No.
Oh, no, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Oh, I
Nice,
just wasn't
nice.
saying anything.
Ah, see, I was confused. I didn't know what to do now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, you talked a little about Drake, and that's your series, The Center of Magical
Magical
Affairs,
Affairs, yeah.
which I love
Yeah.
that you spelled center Centre. I love that.
It's a Canadian spelling.
I love it.
Yeah, that one takes place in Toronto, so Canadian spelling.
I think it's appropriate.
Mhm.
So magic, you use magic as the same as computer code. And
Yes,
how did
in
you
that
work
sense.
out the world dynamic? How did you work that out?
So, like with magic as computer code, you mean?
Mhm.
So in the setting, magic has essentially replaced all forms of electricity. Instead of using like fossil fuels, solar power, it's
Mhm.
magic. Everything is powered by magic. And the number one rule of magic is mana always wants to take a shape. So a smart enough programmer can make mana take any shape they want. This is used for stuff like holograms,
Mhm.
for casting spells. Like Asher, his big thing is that one of the big things he does in that first book is that he uses mana to actually put things back together instead of just throwing fireballs around. He does that too because it's fun to throw fireballs around.
Always
And yes,
requirement.
Drake is just another word for dragon, which is,
Mhm.
I will not deny that. There's also a fun little naming convention with the Center of Magical Affairs series where the title of every book, there's an A in the center because Asher's at the center of all the magical affairs.
You're gonna be like, why are there only 4 books in this series? I couldn't come up with any more A in the center
Oh
words.
no, I have I don't have the list on me right now, but I have like 8 titles. I have 8 titles prepared. Uh
I love that.
I actually have not touched on cryptocurrency in the Center of Magical Affairs series, but that is something I should probably think about because I do think that's a cool angle we could touch on. I
Yes,
think that would be fun to explore.
yeah, he was answering Helen's question. What would happen if they try to mine Bitcoin in Center of Magical Affairs? Yeah, that would
Oh,
be
sorry,
cool.
I should. I'm not reading the questions out loud.
That's okay. Just for the podcast people, right? Just so the podcast people know.
Yeah.
So please interact with the audience. It's more fun. They see me every week. So, we just like to read it just so the podcast people who don't see what's going on, that they
Right.
get all the questions too. Plus, I have to count them. Otherwise, I'll ask you like 90 questions.
Oh,
And
it's
we'll have
okay.
to
I've already
change the
lost count.
title. We'll need new marketing. I mean, it'll be annoying.
I've already lost count. It's fine.
Oh, I didn't. This series, the series we were talking about, the Center of Magical Affairs, it's listed as urban fantasy cyberpunk. So, what can readers expect from this crossover genre?
So I draw a lot of elements from both the cyberpunk and the urban fantasy genres in different respects. So like urban fantasy, there's a lot of noir tropes that are being pulled in. There's always a mystery in every book. Something is wrong or something that people don't expect is happening, and
Mhm.
Asher is typically being forced to figure out why or how it's happening. And where
Mhm.
the cyberpunk elements come in is that there's a lot of transhumanism involved. So the aforementioned Drakes come in 2 forms. There's the people who are born that way and have no choice, and then the people who choose that form. And the subject of is it ethical to choose that form when other people are forced to be that way comes up rather
Mhm.
frequently. There's so that's a lot of where the cyberpunk is, and also techno magic has been a trope in cyberpunk for a very long time. If you can go back to Shadowrun, technology and magic meshing together has been a very common mainstay in the genre. So it's a very natural fit to put the 2 genres together.
I completely agree. It's really fun. That's how these new exciting things come. We must mesh things together we didn't think go together and then totally do.
Mhm.
So I love it. And it's not we've seen other books. My husband might remember the name. I don't remember what it is. That there was another one where he used programming as magic. So I really like that. It's such a fun concept. So I love that you did that.
WizBiz.
That's it, WizBiz.
That's cool. That's a cool name. I like that. I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah, so
But
that was
yeah,
really fun.
using like programming as magic, you get to
Mhm.
do a lot of little fun things. Like you get to have your character sit down and craft their own spells a lot, which is it's just really cool. It's a great way to show off how a character is just they're smart. Trying to find the right way to say it. It's a good way of showing off how smart a character is because they're solving problems under their own power.
Mhm.
Like, what's a good comparison here? So typically, when a character is solving problems with magic, they're like doing research to find the right spell for the job.
Mhm.
But with programming as magic, you get to have the characters building the solution from their own knowledge or doing research to find pieces to the puzzle. It flips the trope of finding the right spell for the job on its head. And it's really fun, and it's really cool.
Hey, Draconian suggests that we put CryptoPunk in the future, where humans have been put in a matrix pod to use their brain power to mine cryptocurrency. I mean, that might use less power. It could work. I mean, we might finally be able to get these video cards we've been waiting for, right?
I mean, the human brain does have more, like, storage space than any hard drive in existence right now, so it's not like it's the...
I think it could totally work.
Me ideas.
See, Greg is like, yeah, environmentally friendly. This totally works.
We're doing it.
That's right. It's like it's happening. That's it. Book 5.
Was the original plot of the Matrix. Yeah, it was. It technically was.
It's true. It's true. No, that's fun. I love that. Do you see the ideas? You get creative people together and we all come up with fun things that none of us have the time to finish. Oh, I mean, that totally comes to life someday.
I definitely finish every idea I put to paper. I definitely don't shelve experimental projects 10 chapters into them and then wonder when I'll ever get the chance to get back to them.
That's never happened, has it? No.
No, it totally doesn't happen.
No, not like last week or anything. No idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
Well,
every idea is perfect from the get-go.
Well, I'm wondering, when you're not turning children into dragons or stealing baby ones, because that's what happens in Drake, right? He has a baby dragon he has to decide what to do with. What hobbies do you enjoy to refill your creative cup?
I play a lot of video games, which should come as not much of a surprise.
That's why you need Discord.
Yep. So I play a lot of... I'm playing through Control right now, which is really cool. It's actually really similar to the Center of Magical Affairs. There's a lot of... It's kind of cyberpunky, kind of urban fantasy-y, but it's also, if you've ever heard of the SCP Foundation, it's leaning into a lot of those... Oh, okay. I could sit here and talk about that all night, but we don't have the time. But basically, imagine there's a government agency out there, and they handle all those horror monsters that like to pop up. That's the SCP Foundation.
Oh, I gotcha. Every good story, if it lasts long enough, that's in the urban fantasy, comes up with one of those organizations eventually. So that makes sense to me. Mm-hmm.
That's the aforementioned Center of Magical Affairs.
See? There's always one somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. The IS in the Hollows, Kim Harrison, and one after another. Men of Letters with Supernatural. There's always someone.
There's always one.
Always one of them.
The vague medicine government agency is a favorite trope of mine.
Nice. I mean, it's a trope for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you could spend the weekend with one of your characters, who would it be and where would you go?
Oh, that's hard. That's tricky. One of my characters, and where would we go? Okay. This is going to be a bit of a hot take to my fan base because they are in the chat right now. I wouldn't spend time with any of them.
Oh no!
I'm sorry. I put them through too much crap. I don't think they want to spend time with me. I'm sorry. I gave them PTSD. Why would they want to spend any time with me?
Oh, that's funny. No, Corvus is not accepting that answer. You must come up with a better one.
Nah, he can see that.
He's like, no, I get it.
They can see that.
Yeah. Dragonian said they'd just kick your butt.
Yep. No,
you're absolutely. The guy that did that to us?
Oh my gosh, no, it would be deserved too. Oh my gosh, the things I put Lewis through.
Oh, poor Lewis.
Oh, especially Asher in the 4th book. Oh my god, that's not even out yet. He's seen some shit. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you can curse, please. We're fine.
Oh, I can?
Yeah, you're good.
No worries.
Nope, you're good.
This is the internet. The FCC has no domain here.
Ha! Freedom!
Excellent.
Yeah, the fact that I don't curse all the way through it is a miracle. So let's see. Florida Kevin wants to know what book or series is banging around in the back of your head, waiting for you to hurry up and finish what you're working
on. So actually, currently there's no series that's waiting to be written because all 3 of them are in progress. So Center of Magical Affairs, I work on at a bit of a leisurely pace. I do, as I go. Lazy Scales main series is done. There are some spin-off books that I do want to eventually get to, but that can wait a little bit. It doesn't need to happen now. And then the book I actually just signed with Atheon, Fate and Freedom Online, which is a lit RPG, that's in progress. I'm already working on that. So it's all
So
going pretty
exciting.
good. Yeah.
That is really cool. Yeah, that lit RPG has some rabid fans, so that's fantastic. We've had a few authors on here.
There's my fan base right now calling for spin-off books in the chat.
They want Rocktooth. They're fans of Rocktooth.
Rocktooth is a character that shows up in book 5 of the Lazy Scales series, and he is a favorite. I like him quite a bit.
Nice. All right, let's see.
I am super productive. I can write all the things.
Yeah, it's impressive. It is impressive. Someday. So no weekend, none of your characters. It's so sad. So what do you consider a vacation? What's vacation for you?
Vacation for me is basically just a couple days off from all work in general. So not waking up at 5 a.m. to write, not going into the day job at 9 a.m. It's, just spending a day relaxing, really.
So no alarm is vacation for you.
No, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. regardless. No. Don't get it confused. The alarm is just a failsafe. I'll wake up then no matter what.
You're like, I've been programmed. Okay. I love it. So you know what? We're on the speed round now. We have the really good ones.
Ooh.
So we need to know, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
I'm gonna be boring and say French vanilla.
It's not boring because you said French vanilla. I mean, come on.
Oui, c'est français. Et moi, je suis français, alors.
No. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Nein.
See, that would be hilarious. I'll just keep speaking in German, you keep speaking in French, and I'm sure we won't lose anyone in the audience.
French vanilla is what we call it when we want to pretend we're less boring.
Hey, I have to give you, at least the vanilla is very, it's flexible.
Yeah, it goes with everything. Listen, you can't put Rocky Road on an apple pie. I mean, you can, and it would probably be delicious, but it's traditional to put vanilla ice cream.
It just works better. It's meant to be. It's just really cold cream. It's perfect. Exactly. So speaking
almost
of food,
as if it were iced cream.
All right, smartass. I'm missing your point. Mm-hmm. Can you tell we're married? You can tell, right? Yeah. Only for a little bit. Only 24 years. It's been a little while. So speaking of food, because this is one of my favorite things to talk about, what is the best thing you have ever, or at least recently, eaten?
Oh no, you're gonna make me remember food.
Yep. Sorry, food priorities.
Okay. I mean, I had chicken and waffles a couple weeks ago. Not just regular chicken and waffles, it was spicy chicken and waffles. It had hot sauce on it. It was really good.
Yeah, I've had some pepper infused maple syrup to go on the top of that. It's so good.
That's what we had too. It was fantastic. And I really like spicy food, so.
But you're Canadian, is that allowed?
It's more permitted lately. We have a lot more spicy places popping up. We have like a curry place in town. We have Thai food in town, and I'll go get like a pad Thai occasionally because I really like pad Thai.
Nice. Yeah, I'm from outside Chicago, and I couldn't handle spice at all. We're talking Midwest.
Ooh.
And like Popeyes was too spicy for me.
Oh dear.
But yes, that's where I was. I'm so proud. Not. So I've now, however, lived 17 years in Houston, and my spice is way. I'm much more tolerant now, and actually look for it. So that's nice. It's glad to know. It's good to know. Yeah.
Helen says, "Can I interest you to paprika?"
That was a crazy spice in the Midwest. Thank you very much. It was like, ooh, isn't that like a Polish spice? What's up with paprika? Yeah. Nope. Salt and pepper. I remember my husband went to a really, really fancy steakhouse. I want to say in Nebraska, but he'll correct me if I'm wrong. that they're like, it's just really good meat, but they didn't even salt it. We're like, you just ruined it. You have to salt it. Even if you do nothing else, you have to salt it.
It was
Yeah.
one of the highest quality pieces of steak I have ever had ruined for me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It was cooked beautifully, perfectly cooked. No salt. The whole thing was just bland. Bland.
Oh goodness.
Oh, it was awful. Awful.
Ridiculous. And it's not like you can add salt later, then it just tastes like salt. You know what I mean? It doesn't, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you got salt in the cooking process.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, don't ruin meat. That cow sacrifice for us, we need to respect it. So, all right. We're in our important question phase. Can you tell?
Yes.
See? Okay. So, next important question is coffee or tea?
Coffee. 1,000% coffee. 2 cups a
1000%.
day, black as night and sweet as sin. Not usually sweet, though.
Not usually sweet.
No, I actually stopped drinking coffee with sugar a while back because I was consuming too much sugar and I wanted to cut back. So I cut out the pop, switched to water, cut the sugar out of my coffee, and just started drinking it black.
Nice. I
Mhm.
think I might have to do without coffee if it was black.
I actually like the taste of coffee, so I'm just weird that way.
No, you're not weird. There's a lot more of you than there is me, so you're fair. How about hot or cold weather?
Cold.
Cold,
I will
especially now, right?
happily yeah. I will happily take cold weather over the hot weather.
I saw a meme that's funny when you're saying how hot it was up there right now. I saw a meme where it was a Canadian who said, you know, Texas, remember that time where we accidentally left our weather in your backyard? We're really sorry about that. Can you please come get yours?
I know the one you're talking about. I've seen that too.
It was so funny. Oh, it's
Yeah,
not fair.
As Helen says in the chat, you can do something about the cold. And that's the thing. There's only so many layers I could take off before it's indecent.
Yes, and I know, and that's the argument people have, except my thing is I feel like I'm going to die in the cold. And the worst thing I do in the heat is get sleepy. I do not feel like I'm going to die, but in the cold, I literally feel like I'm going to die. Can't feel my fingers, can't breathe right because it hurts to breathe. I can't feel my nose. I just cannot do it. I don't care how warm the fire is or how many layers I did. And the heat never makes me feel like I'm going to die. I could be uncomfortable. I could be, sluggish, but not death. So, yep. But, I think this is one of those debates that there is no right answer. That's why I asked you, because I was curious which way you fell. Yep. Awesome. Uh-oh. All right. So what do we have? Next question. I'm reading the chat, so I was just trying to make sure I wasn't missing a question. So if I'm missing a question, yell at me. Hot, or I asked you that one. Favorite style of music?
I listen to a lot of pop punk, so it's a lot of men that are probably a bit too old to be singing about being angsty, but they're still singing about it anyway, and they're doing a great job.
Would that be like Green Day? Is that what you mean?
Green Day is just regular punk at this point.
Oh, okay.
Pop punk is like the new Machine Gun Kelly stuff is pop punk. That one TikTok song that's been going around that goes like a damn sociopath, that's a pop punk song. I sounded insane with that last one. Mentioning TikTok songs. Just watch it a week. That'll be out of the trends.
I'm too old for TikTok. I don't even have it on my phone.
Oh, my mom uses TikTok. Nobody's too old for TikTok.
Okay, I feel too old for TikTok.
That's fair.
My daughter is on it, and she just shows me the things I would like, and it's usually the ones with like the birds.
Yeah, birds.
Like I love African grays, so when she brings me the talking birds, I'm very happy.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, because my husband won't let me have one because he doesn't love me. So, is what
Waiting
it
to
is.
hear his answer for that.
Oh, it's true. And it's
True
funny because they
story?
live 80 years. They live 80 years, and he's like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, give it to Jenna, my daughter. And she's like, yeah, I'll take it. So it's like, we've got it all set up, man. It's all good. But no.
Oh, no. No birds. No birds.
It's fine. Someday. Though I have to say I want one really bad, but when the mockingbird right outside the house is loud, annoying our cats, that drives me crazy. So I'm sure if I actually got an African gray when he was obnoxious in the house, that would probably drive me crazy too.
Yeah, I don't imagine I'd get a lot of work done if I had a bird chirping in my ear all day long.
Nope. Nope. I would just be sitting there teaching it to talk and not get anything done.
Oh, exactly. Eventually, you could teach it to do your editing for you, though, right?
Oh my gosh. There'd be more cursing probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that birds are absolute potty mouths.
They are. They pick things up and they're like, I know that's a bad word and I'm going to use it like a toddler.
Yep. hmm Never swear in front of children. They will not stop.
They will not stop ever. Polos or button-ups?
Polos, actually. A little bit of both. Button-ups for overshirts, polos for undershirt, for like just regular t-shirt.
That sounds fair.
Mhm.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I'm sorry, cat people. I love puppers. They're too cute.
Hey, I don't blame you. I don't think you have to apologize for which animal you like. It's fair. Um, so I think that's it. So if we have anything else in the audience, otherwise, I would like to know, where can fans find you and your work?
So you can find my work on Amazon. All my books are available to purchase on Amazon. You can go to amazon.com/DM/Gilmore and a bunch of string of numbers that I don't know how to say. So I'm just going to drop that into the chat real fast instead.
Perfect.
That's where you can find all my books. And I'm also available on social media. So my Facebook is facebook.com/DM Gilmore author. And I'm on Twitter at DM_Gilmore. I also have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/DM Gilmore, where I post early preview chapters of In Progress Works.
Excellent, excellent. So, for all of you who Dan is now your favorite author, please make sure to review his work and also review us wherever you get your podcast. You can also follow us on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube so that you stay up to date and come get to ask your questions. And we want to thank our subscribers on Twitch. You help us keep the lights on. That's DH Dunn and Roger and Helen Savor. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week, next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, where we have Trish Wooldridge featured.